Okay, we're live again. Now let's see if this actually works. Everybody, I hope that it does. If it works again, please enjoy. If it doesn't work again, well, I just guess I need to kill myself, just like my PC did a few minutes ago. So yes, I don't remember what I was talking about. In any case, we are back, we are here, we are live, and I am happy. Well, I'm partially happy. Excuse me. We are live again. Oh no, I don't want that one. I want that guy. So, yeah, for those of you who do come across this live stream at a later date and just happen to listen in, or if you do sit back and watch the stream, then it is nice too. Or if you watch it from, a few minutes earlier or whatever the case may be, welcome to everybody who comes by and everybody who does listen. Yes, I don't really have much else to say, to be perfectly honest, but I am here. I am doing my little kills here on the Cyclops. I am doing the Cyclopalypse and killing all of these buggers as much as I can. And let's see, what else can I talk about? So I think I mentioned this in the friends chat recently, but so for those of you who don't hop in the friends chat at all, or just listen to what's going on, I apologize for the cough. This is what you get when you have kids. You get your kids' sicknesses, and it just messes you up. Because for some reason, if you get, as an adult, your sickness from your kids, you're not allowed to be able to withstand it. You have to be just defeated by it continuously. It sucks. But yeah, what have I said recently in the chat? So I've got my job now that I told you about, which was very good in comparison to when I first started out the series, and I lost I lost my job at a certain point, and now I have a new job. And for those of you in the chat, you might remember that I did mention that I might have sabotaged myself at my job, and just for those of you who don't know, so I am a teacher. I'm teaching here in Japan. I teach English to kids, and I sabotaged myself because my manager is a cock, and it's like me being nice, saying that he's just a cock. Like, he's just really bad at his job, and he knows it, and the company knows it, but they fear firing him out of the fact that nobody wanted to do the job. He actually only got the job because at the point when they needed a new manager, nobody stepped up to the plate, and he was the only one who finally accepted it. A lot of my coworkers who have been working with the company for years, 10 years, 15 years, and so on, they've been telling me the stories of what's gone on. And I try my best to make friends with everybody. And even with my current manager, who is a cock, I did try and be friendly and make friends with him and be nice and everything, but the guy's a cock. And yeah, what exactly is the case? He is in control of our shifts. He controls which classrooms we head to. And the bugger fucking gives me pretty crappy shifts, and that's fine, because when I had my job interview with the guy, he said, the first few months you'll have some poor shifts because halfway through the semester and everything, and we can't really just pop you in anywhere. We'll have to just put you in where we have space. But he said, from April, when we start the new semester in April, we'll have a good place for you, and there's a school not too far from your house, a few minutes walk even, that we have a classroom there. And so if you just stick it out until April, while you've been with us, all over the show, from December through to April, when we hit that new semester, I'll pop you in that school that's near your house a bit more often. And he puts me there in the new schedule just twice a month, which is not often at all. And and I try to call him out, and I said, hey, what gives? You told me I'd be at this school more often, the one that's near my place, so I wouldn't have to travel far. But this new schedule, you got me still traveling all the way other side of the bloody country almost. Not that far, but still far enough. And he says, yeah, no, I couldn't really do anything about it, so too bad. You're out of luck. So I was kind of pissed off about that, seeing as he had said that, you'd be going to this school that's near your house more often, and that's obviously not the case. And he said, no, well, listen, my hands are tied. The school has requested another teacher, and usually these schools, they don't like to switch teachers in and out. And so, there's nothing I could have done for you. So in other words, from the beginning, when he told me in an interview you'd be working near your house, it was a load of crap, because he's told me now that the schools don't like to switch teachers. And sorry to all of you guys who are listening to me just vent all my frustration, but I got to vent somewhere. And and it's been a load of shit. So I've said to the guy, well, listen, I'm not happy with that. And he said, well, too bad. So I thought, I'll go to the manager above him, because he's an area manager. And then we have a block manager. And then we have a chief of staff sort of person. I went to the chief directly, and the chief was like, nah, sorry, you're going to have to go slowly up through the ranks. You can't just skip everybody and come straight to me with problems. You go first to your area manager, and then you go to your block manager, and so on. So I said to the chief, I said, listen, I've already been to the area manager, and he's a cock. So the area manager's just said, well, tough luck on that. Go to the block manager. Gone to the block manager, and I've talked to him for the first time I ever talked to the guy. And it seems he's fast friends with the area manager. So they're good friends, and it's nice to have friends. And I'm happy for the guys. But it also means that they got each other's back, and that's also nice, but it's not so nice for when you have somebody at the top and they're shitting on people at the bottom. And so here I am, and I'm talking to this guy on the phone, and I say, listen, I've got this problem. And he says, yeah, well, that guy, he works so hard, and he does his best. Nothing I can do for you. Get over it, pretty much. And I've thought, well, look, I have more complaints about this manager who's a cock. I have more complaints about the guy, but seeing as I know that you're friends with him now, I'm not going to say anything, is what I thought to myself. So I didn't tell him that, of course. And ended the conversation there, unfortunately. It would have been nice to be able to get some resolution, but that doesn't happen. So I've just pretty much said to the guys, well, listen, if you guys are gonna just, you know, tell me other than what you've offered me in your interview, then I might keep looking for bigger and better ventures. And they've said, well, that's up to you, whatever you like. So they don't seem to really care, even though they're short-staffed at the moment, which is really a pity for them. What a sad story to tell you guys while I'm killing Cyclops. And I apologize, I really do. I apologize for being so sad and negative. I wish I had a happy story for you. No, I do have a happy story for you, actually. I have a nice happy story. My co-workers have been so damn supportive of me, and it's incredible. I mean, almost as supportive as you guys who watch and talk to me in the chat and come online and say hello. All of you guys, super supportive. But my co-workers, wow, they've been really, really good and really supportive of me. And you know, it's been making working at my current workplace just a real nice time. A lot of them too. They all say my manager's a cock, and they're really nice. So you know, it's not all sadness and bullshit. It's really nice sometimes to be working with people who care, and a lot of you as well. All of you guys who watch and listen and are with me, you're all just a real nice bunch to hang about with. So I appreciate all of you, and you know, I ask you guys about your lives and what's going on and what you've been up to, and some of you also have your own troubles in your lives, and I hope you all get through them. And I just hope you know that I support you guys as well, and I'm really hoping that you all get through any of your issues, because there's nothing I'd like more than to have more happy people in the world. So yeah, what else is going on in the world? Got some bad shit going down over in Europe. So all my European friends out there, I hope you're doing all right, especially if you're in Ukraine, or if you have got family in the Ukraine. Sorry, in Ukraine, not the Ukraine, in Ukraine. In Ukraine, and or even if you have friends and family in Russia, because I'm sure a lot of those there's a lot of good people in Russia as well who are not supportive of the war efforts that are going on at the moment. So I hope that you're all doing fine, and that anybody that you love and care about is doing fine as well. You know, I do hope there's an end to that very soon, and I'm looking forward to a more peaceful future as well, once everything is sorted over there. Further, what else has been happening? I don't know. My good pal Robbie, here, he shows up in the chat here every now and again. He's helped me put together a Discord, so if you guys are interested in the Discord, please check out the description box of some of the main series. I don't think I've put it in the description box of today's live stream, but do feel free to join the Discord. I do upload screenshots from my daily plays of RuneScape on there. There's places for you guys also to upload your stuff, and we can all share. Excuse me. And of course, we have a voice chat on there and everything. So if you guys are interested in having a chat, I'd love to hear from you all. So yeah, really do feel free to join the Discord. My friend Robbie, he's had to get a leg surgery, so I'm happy to hear that he finally got that done. So congratulations, mate, and I hope you get a swift recovery from that. I've been going under some intensive tests as well myself, medical tests, and I've gone for a stomach camera where they stuff the camera down your throat. That's not very pleasant, but I've had that done. I've had the large intestine camera, and that one goes in the opposite end. What is UE levels now? UE? Is that meant to be your levels now? Is it UE? What is UE? UE? You mean your? You mean your? Okay, yeah. Right, that's a good idea. Thanks for reminding me with that. No, I wasn't knocked out though, mate. Thanks, Personius K. Yeah, no, I wasn't knocked out for either of those. Um, I was fully conscious, and so the first one was really shit. I was the stomach camera going down your throat. You get a little bit of painkillers sprayed down your throat so that your throat doesn't hurt when it goes down, but your body just still reacts to the fact that there's something going down your esophagus and it's continuing down there. It's not like you're swallowing it, it's just it continues to go down your throat. And you gag and your body really, hey, hello, Mr. Cyclopalypse, and your body really reacts to it. You know, it's one of those things you don't say to yourself, oh well, it's gone halfway down my throat now. My body's used to it. Your body just every now and again it just says, oh fuck, oh shit, I don't like that, and you have a spasm and you clench and you move, and it's not pleasant at all. The intestinal camera, which goes in the other end, is not so bad. There's a couple of painful times. There's a certain point where they want to see what the inside of the entryway looks like, so to speak. So where they put the camera in, and then they kind of twist it around somehow so that it's facing in the opposite direction, but it's still inside, and that kind of that's quite a painful experience. But for the rest, it was pretty decent. Sorry. So yeah, Fargo, I don't know if you're watching. Are you watching the stream? Yeah, and so they kind of twist it around so it's facing the other direction, and yeah, it gets quite painful. Okay, I'll put the levels on screen for you, mate. There you go. And yeah, so I had that done. with good news and bad news. So the reason I've been going for all these health checks is because I am extremely thin. I can't speak American units, so don't ask me for pounds and inches and stuff, but I'm 192 centimeters tall, and I am only 70 kilograms, so that's pretty bad. It's not the absolute worst, but it's still not super healthy. I'm a bit underweight, and it's not too good. And I eat and I eat and I eat and I eat a lot. You know, I do, and I've been increasing my amount of intake that I have been having for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I've been increasing that, and actually, I've still even lost weight. You know, I do a little bit of exercise. You know, I work with kids and stuff. You have to move around and jump up and down and dance and sing and the whole rigmarole, but it's still not. I'm not like super exercising or anything like that. Sorry, yeah, it's because I've made it wider. Let me have a look. There we go. Hey, the first offender of the stream. Is that better for you then? Yes, I've fixed the levels for you. Yeah. No. So I'm trying to see why I'm not gaining weight, why I'm actually losing weight every time. And it doesn't make sense. Thanks for the conversion to American units. And yeah, so I don't know why I've been losing weight. Before I moved to Japan, 7 years ago, I weighed about 80 kilograms, a bit more actually, 80, 85-ish. And that was actually pretty decent. I felt quite good. Well, they didn't really know what to look for, so they did a whole bunch of tests on me, and they were looking to see what could be a problem, you know. They took a blood test, they done all kinds of samples, and they did the throat camera, the intestinal camera. They did an ultrasound to check all my organs. They found a few polyps and stuff like that, but just tiny little ones, and they said, you know, they were not really of any concern yet. But there was nothing that they could say, you know, this is causing you to stay so thin and not gain any weight. And my family members, sorry, I'm yawning a little bit, it is late over here. My family members, you know, my father and my brother and so on, and my grandfather and everyone, none of them are thin. None of them are like me. Even on my mother's side, there are no people who are properly underweight like I am. Everybody is, you know, normal. Nobody is overly fat, but they can put on weight easily if they don't watch what they're doing. You know, my father and my brother were a little bit over. They're actually a little shorter than me, both of them, and they were a bit over 90 kilos not too long ago, and they actually had to go on a little bit of a diet because they were getting quite chubby. And now they're fine again, but no, I don't do any weightlifting at all. The only weight I lift is my daughter. She's 15 kilos, and I pick her up all the time. But no, I don't really do any proper weightlifting. I don't do any real proper exercise. You know, I walk a bit, but not particularly, you know, it's not a particularly large amount of walking. At the most, I might do up to 8,000 steps in a day. You know, it's not anything where you'd say, wow, this guy walks so much, he's losing all his weight there. But yeah, I get quite thin, but I eat a lot. I eat a lot. My family don't have any trouble putting on weight. It's just me. So that's why I've been going through these tests. And so fortunately, good news is they didn't find anything wrong with me through any of the tests. They said you're as healthy as can be. You know, I haven't got high cholesterol, I haven't got high blood pressure or low blood pressure or fucking any kind of stupid shit. I'm completely fine. There's nothing wrong with me, is what they say. So that's good news. That's great news. But it's also bad news because it doesn't tell me what the hell is wrong with me gaining weight. So, it's a pity that there was no fruitful results in terms of what can be done. But definitely good news to know that medically I am, well, as healthy as I guess I could be. But yeah, that is it. And an uncut sapphire, nice. Alright, let's go empty the inventory a little bit. And while we're here, I will quickly go get a new strength potion from this lady here. And I will decant them, and I will throw one vial away. So they will last me a little while. Yeah, and that's something as well. The doctor has said it's likely that it's my change in diet, you know, because the Japanese food generally it's a lot of lean food. It's a lot of vegetables. You know, you got your rice, you got your vegetables, you got your fish, and so on. It's not really super. What can I say? It's not something that's going to really make you put on weight. And when I was living, before I came to Japan, I was living in the Netherlands, and you know, I was eating a lot of meat, sausages and stuff, and fast food, a lot of potatoes, and I was still eating vegetables, of course, but yeah, yeah. I mean, people do take a bit of caution with what they eat, but yeah, it's a lot leaner than what you might eat in a European or in a Western country in most cases. You know, I mean, of course, there is some more. Um, there are some fatty or greasy and you know sugar-filled foods over here as well, but it's not super uh, common. Oh, what can I say? I don't want to say common. It's not one of those things that you say, well, I'm eating that every day. Yeah, and that might be it as well. So they're taking also a sample of my stomach acid, and they're testing that at the moment. They're taking a few other samples that they're going through tests. So we'll see. We'll see if there's anything going on there. I don't know if they can really find anything to do with you know how well I metabolize things, if that's the right way of saying it. But I do hope that something can be done eventually. And another defender. Look at that. What are we at? 151 guys. 151 dragon defenders. That is just lovely. And we have another Cyclosis. Hello, Mr. Cyclosis. Just want to go stand behind you over here so you don't knock me across the room. And let's kill him. Yeah, I mean, what do I eat? Most of the time I'm eating a lot of fish, I'm eating a lot of rice and vegetables and so on. I don't eat that much um, food that would make you gain a lot of weight. I don't eat a lot of fast food and things like that. So, you know, nice, he's dead. And only bones, you tosser. Ah, bastard. Didn't give me a drop. But okay, that's alright. Yeah. Um, that's something I was considering as well, everybody who is watching. So welcome to the those of you who have shown up. Once again, I apologize for any sounds of me coughing or sniffing. I have received a lovely bout of the common cold from my daughter, which is just the nicest thing ever to get as a gift. Yeah, one thing I was considering recently was when I'm going to do my live stream like this, telling you things that I don't know if you know about Japan, but I might be interesting for you to know about Japan. Now that I live here for a while, I'm married to a Japanese person. My child is then half Japanese. My parents-in-law are Japanese, and so on. And there's a lot of things that um, are quite different to what you'd expect in other countries, and maybe that's interesting for you. So I thought I'd just rattle off a few little points here and there and let you know some interesting things. So to start off with, there's a level of kindness here in Japan which overshadows a kind of lack of ability, or I don't really know how to really put this in a nice way, because there's no malicious feeling behind it in most circumstances. I mean, of course, there will be times where it's not considered nice, but most of the time there's a level of kindness. So I'm a white man. I don't look Asian at all. I'm just a white man, just nothing special, you know. How long does it take me to gain a level these days? It's not that long if I put focus into it. And one thing that I do have to do, which helps this go a lot faster, is I have to get aggression again. So I've been in the building for a long time, and so all of these guys are not aggressive at the moment. But what I will do is I'll do that now. I'll go get my prayer refilled, and you'll see they'll all be aggressive again. Stack of 150 defenders, yay. So they'll all be aggressive again once I come back. Yes, I'm also very tall for Asian countries, it's true, because I'm not Asian, so I'm just a regular run-of-the-mill white person. And but you'll have times when you're in places like Japan, and I can't speak for Korea or China or anywhere like that because I've never been there, but especially so in Japan, you have the fact that English is something that is not well spoken in Japan. There are people who can speak English very well, but it is not a commonly spoken language amongst most Japanese people. So let's say you go in for some fast food somewhere, and just take an easy example as a McDonald's. You go in and you're going to get yourself a Big Mac or something. You walk in, and half of the time, the staff won't speak to you. So usually, and I don't know how many of you know much about Japanese customs. When you enter a shop or get up to the counter to pay for something, the staff will start off with saying "irashaimase," which is like "welcome to the shop," and they'll say that over and over again, um, while people are at the shop. So if you walk past them and they're stocking the shelves, they'll say "irashaimase," or if you walk in the door and they see you when you walk in the door and you lock eyes, they'll say "irashaimase." If you go to the McDonald's and you walk up to the counter and you say, "I want to order a Big Mac," the first thing they'll say to you as you walk up to the counter is "irashaimase." They'll say that to you, which is just, it's just a greeting. It's just welcome to the shop. It's a politeness thing. But half the time, as a foreigner, when they don't really know, they don't know, does this person speak Japanese, or am I going to have to stand here and battle with some really difficult English that I don't understand? And while they're in that panic mode, they stop and they just look at you and they wait to see what you will do. Now, half of the time they still just go as if nothing's different. But when they go into this panic mode, they forget half of their lines. And it's just quite funny because you get there and the first thing they do is they "irashaimase," and then they ask you if you're going to eat in or take out. However, when they get in that panic mode, they forget to ask you that. So you make your order and then they get to the end of the order and they go, shit, um, wait, what did you say? Did you say you were going to eat in or did you say you want to take out? And you say, oh, I didn't say either. And they go, oh, really? Oh, shit, I thought I had said that, and they really get completely lost. And it's just a funny little quirk that tends to happen a lot when you're in these kinds of situations where they're unsure. Do I have to speak English now? I don't know if this person speaks Japanese. And they kind of battle with that in their mind, kind of figure out, and then they just skip a few of their little dialogue pieces. And we have another one of these. Yay! I like these guys. I guess I'll stand here. Yeah, and so you have that quite commonly, where you'll just have these. You imagine a dialogue skip in a game, and you just choose the right character, and you get to skip half the dialogue. And that's what happens here in real life in Japan. If they're unsure if you speak Japanese or not. Sometimes they just don't care. They're just there. They're doing their job, and they just speak to you as if there's nothing going on. That there's no difference. And so it's just a little quirk. There's no real malice behind it or any real problems. It's it's just funny. Um, on top of that, I'd like to teach you some Japanese words if you like to learn. So, for example, one word which I think everybody should know if you ever go to Japan. One word that you should know is "daijoubu," and I'll write it in the chat on the game. It's like this: "daijoubu, daijoubu." Well, let's just make it a line so that way it's easier. "Daijoubu," and this word has so many applications. It's one of the best words you can use. And the reason for it, the reason it's so good is because it can be used as affirmation. It can be used as you're not wanting something, to decline something, to say, I want something, to say, yes, please, or no, thank you. And it can be used for so many different applications. So if somebody's in the street and they're handing out flyers and you say "daijoubu," that means sorry, I'm fine. I don't need it. You can use it to say I'm fine. If somebody steps on your foot, you can say "daijoubu," I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Someone says, hey, should I get you some chips? And you say, oh, daijoubu, yeah, come on, give me some. You can use it in that way. You can use this word to really cover a broad base of different things that could happen. You know, what other kind of situations can I think of? Well, yeah, well, there's not really many that you can't use it. Daijoubu is a very, very robust and very a word that covers everything. When you need to reply to somebody quickly. Oh, I'm being really murdered here. I'm not daijoubu right now. That's not good. I'm very not daijoubu, and I don't know why I'm clicking on the wrong things. Die, Cyclopalypse, die. I need to use some more of these defensive. And another no drop, Cyclopalypse, you bugger. Yeah, so daijoubu is a really good word. Can be used in a broad sense of ways, and the you know, it's usually the conversation that you're having that allows you to decide whether that fits or not, or to decide what the meaning is of what you've said is when you use that word. So that's quite interesting. I don't need that many sandwiches. Yeah, another good Japanese word for you to learn is genki. Genki is another good word. Genki is a word that means it can mean something like energetic, right? So that you're energetic. If someone says they won't say I'm, but if they say I'm genki, then I'm energetic, or I'm feeling good. I've got energy. I'm not tired. I can do it. That's another good one. So being genki is to be energetic, to not be too tired to do something. Hey, I've done some more yak track. That's nice. Yeah, so genki is another good word. One thing is with Japanese that I've come to notice is that often a lot of things that are grammatically correct are skipped in normal conversation. I mean, we do the same in English, of course. We don't really follow the rules precisely as we should, but we do like to, butcher our language a bit, and they do that the same in Japanese every now and again. So there are some real grammatical conventions that everybody should follow, but a lot of those are skipped as well. So articles are quite difficult with Japanese sometimes. You might use the wrong ones, which in English is things like and the and so on. Is, are, some of these kinds of words, but in Japanese they can be quite difficult to really hey, finally got a drop from a cyclosis to correctly use. So half the time you just drop them, and then the person you're speaking to knows what you're talking about, which is quite nice. Another good thing with Japanese is characters. So using the multiple different character sets. Really, really nice once you get the hang of it. In the beginning, the character sets are quite daunting. There are two simplified sort of sets, which is hiragana and katakana. And those two sets, that you can really compare them to the alphabet, ABC. Pretty simple. But kanji, which is Chinese characters, they can be difficult. But once you get the hang of it, once you get a bit of an idea of, some of these characters, they have meaning in the picture that they represent. And sometimes you can take that meaning and you can put it across all different characters that have the same parts. I don't have enough stuff in my inventory to make a character, do I? Let's see. Well, okay, I'll explain it. The characters that mean Japan in Japanese, the first one is sun. It looks like a digital number 8 on a calculator, on an old calculator, just a square number 8. Yeah. And then the second one is hon, which it has a few different meanings, but it looks like a tree with a line through the bottom. But that one, it means, in this case, I guess it means origin or the place let's say the place it comes from. So it's the land of where the sun rises, right? It's the land of the rising sun. But these specific characters, if you find like the day character in another character, the sun character, which also means day, which makes sense because sun in the day. Yeah, my PC is on its way out, mate. Orez, I'm sorry, I don't know. He's my computer. He's about 6-7 years old now, and he every now and again he just says to himself, "I like to die," and then he dies. Yeah, but so the day character, which is the same as the sun character, because sun is up in the day. Yes, please do, please do. So the sun is up in the day, so that's why those characters match. But if you find another character with the day or sun character in it, it's likely to have a connection to day or sun or something like that. For example, another one is shellfish. And you might be thinking, why am I mentioning shellfish? Shellfish character looks like, if you imagine, I just told you the old digital calculator number 8, the old 7-segment display, the square number 8. Now, if you imagine that, but you put in an extra segment of 3 underneath, so it makes an 8 with an extra box underneath. If you make that becomes like that becomes that shape, and then underneath you put a couple of little feet sticking out the bottom almost. Well, that's shellfish. Okay, that's kai, that's shellfish. And a long time ago, and actually even in some places to this day, shells have been used as currency. And that kind of history follows through into the modern day writing system. How long it's going to take? I have made the calculation, and the calculation is approximately 400 hours of game time of just pure killing. If I can kill non-stop for 400 hours, then that's the amount of time it will take me to get 99 in both attack and strength. So in any case, you make this 8 with an extra box underneath. You put the two feet out the bottom. You got your shellfish, and because of that, meaning that having been used as currency in the past, shellfish, shells being the currency, this carries on into the modern day, and a lot of different words in Japanese which use the Japanese character for shellfish, a lot of them have something to do with something that costs money. The word for to rent something has that in it, and there are a few, and the word for buy has that in it, to buy something. There's a lot of words that are to do with money or with transactions that have this shellfish part in the character. And if you can connect these dots in Japanese, you can say, well, listen, this this character has this meaning, and it's because of this or that reason. And if you can follow that along through different parts of the language, um, a lot of these characters actually start making a little bit more sense. Some of them don't make sense at all. Some of them, you look at them and you say, what the hell is this? And if you look at the meaning behind the character, it doesn't make sense at all. So, because some of the characters have been completely repurposed. And actually, an interesting factoid here is during the Second World War, as you all remember, Japan was allied with Germany in the Second World War. At that time, words which were loan words from English or other foreign languages got given Chinese characters made in Japan. And these Chinese characters were unique new characters made to replace the Western influence of the original words. They wanted to give it completely Japanese words. The words were still pronounced the same. For example, gram, as in a gram of something, like the weight of a gram. Now, there's kilogram, and they made one, they made a character which meant kilogram. You'd still say kilogram. So the Japanese kilogram, which is just the Japanese pronunciation of kilogram. But they actually made a Chinese character for that during the Second World War because they wanted to separate themselves from that Western influence, which they were fighting against. So, and some of those ones which were then created, they tried to create those with some meaning to it. So the kilogram Chinese character that they made actually incorporates the Chinese character for the word 1,000 because it's 1,000 grams for a kilogram. So there's all these different kinds of things that once you get a bit of an idea of how some of these characters are put together, it makes a lot more sense. And so that is what I wanted to tell you so far about Japanese. Yeah. There's a lot more I could tell you. If you have any questions about Japan or Japanese things, feel free to ask because I'm happy to talk about it. I do like talking about the country I live in. It is a nice place to live. People are lovely, and there are a few things that I say it's a bit funny or a bit silly, but it's certainly always very nice. Also, one of my viewers was one of my very first viewers. Let's look at my friends list. Remiria, or however you pronounce her name. She asked me in the very beginning, she actually gave me the very first donation of a bond to get me going again. And she asked me to get the T-Serve REST animation using oddments. So now that I've gotten a few more oddments from the yak track, I now have that animation. So Remiria, or however your name is pronounced. If you do see this live stream, even if you see it later or join at some point, yes, I have gotten that animation now, so I hope to see you in game sometime and we can sit down and have a chat with the T animation, and that would be very nice. What else has happened? I know. I could tell you a couple more little interesting little tidbits. So I majored in Japanese society and culture. Of course, focusing in Japanese history at university. And yeah, I know a little bit about Japanese history. I mean, I know a little bit about Japanese society and culture. One thing about Japan in general is that in most places, 99% of places, you will not find garbage cans. Walk around, you go through the streets. You can find garbage cans inside convenience stores, but not on the streets. You walk around, you just don't see them. They're just not there. No garbage cans. And do you know why? Points to anybody who can tell me why. If you know why, I will give you 150 Dragon Defenders. Let's see. 152 Dragon Defenders. Anyone know why there's generally no garbage cans in Japan? Who can tell me? Because I know. I mean, that's the reason I can ask you the question. I already know. But anybody else here know? It's unsightly. That's a nice reason, but it's not the correct one. Okay, I can give you one hint. There used to be public garbage cans. More public garbage cans. There used to be. Something happened that changed Japan, that made them want to not have public garbage cans anymore. Or in any case, saw a massive decline in garbage cans. You remember, Pesonius? That's a nice reason, but it's not the reason. It's not about recycling. It's not the reason that garbage cans were removed. But it is a nice idea. No, the reason that garbage cans were removed is because of a domestic terror attack. Yay! I'm just full of happiness today. Yes, a domestic terror attack. In Japan, there was and it still exists to an extent, a cult called Aum Shinrikyo, which is a kind of religious cult following a dude, this heavily bearded, sort of unwashed looking man. and he orchestrated that a bunch of people would undertake some domestic terror attacks using sarin gas. There was one incident where it happened on a train, but there was also an incident where it happened that they put the gas or the components. I mean, I'm not a sarin gas expert. Don't ask me, but how to make it or how it works. There was a sarin gas incident where they put whatever is required to make sarin gas in a garbage can, and then people got really scared of that, and they were like, "Oh shit, people might use garbage cans to do bad shit," and that was one of the reasons that public garbage cans don't exist, because of this domestic terror attack that was done by Shinrikyo. Later on, Shinrikyo would go on to do another sarin gas attack in a packed subway train and kill a whole bunch of people with that. And actually, I think it was either last year or the year before, but it was very, very recently. The leader of Shinrikyo and maybe a couple of the deputies of the cult were hung. So the death penalty still exists in Japan, and they were killed for their crimes. The death penalty in Japan is usually dealt out if somebody causes the death of 2 or more people. There have been a couple of incidents. There's been one recently, maybe also about 1 or 2 years ago. A man wanted to be killed. He said, "I don't have the guts to kill myself, and I don't want to go and, get shot by police." So he went into a train with a knife and he stabbed 2 ladies, specifically killing 2 with the attempt to kill 2 ladies. As far as I understand, either they both lived or at least one of them lived. And his reason was, "I wanted to have the death penalty. I don't want to live." And he went and done that so he could get the death penalty. So the idea is 2 or more people. You kill 2 or more people, you get death penalty. And because this religious cult people, they caused the death of a lot of people, they got the death penalty. Well, I mean, the leader and such, they didn't do it directly. They got their followers to do it, but as a result, they are still the ones who orchestrated that crime, and as such, they are the ones who got the death penalty. I think the people who did it as well, they either got death penalty or they're on death row or something like that. But yes, that is one of the reasons why you don't see public trash cans in Japan. Wow! Aren't I just a happy chappy today? Don't you just love listening to the exciting, not depressing channel that is this channel? Yes, that is what I wanted to say. But a lot of things in Japan tend to easily spook a large amount of the Japanese populace. So Japan has been notoriously unwilling to like vaccines. So even excluding the corona stuff that's happening there, the COVID stuff, for a while there had been some issues with vaccines in the past where 1 or 2 people, and I mean really 1 or 2 people, I mean maybe I'm under exaggerating, maybe I'm saying a few too little, but in the scope of things, the amount of people who received vaccinations and the amount of people who had issues, you could end up saying it was around 1 or 2 people. Okay, so don't quote me on the exact numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm an English guy. I'm not a math guy. But one or two people had adverse effects. Maybe there was a documentary on one of the vaccines, which is the HPV vaccine, which is for cervical cancer for women. And a couple of girls had some really bad side effects where they were, really screwed up for life. They had like a permanent, they were permanently in shaking. Their body wouldn't, like, they were kind of like Parkinson's, I believe it is, something like that. And they were really kind of messed up. And these girls, they were messed up, but I think it was out of a test of like 10,000 people, where one or two of them had these adverse reactions. But that was made into a documentary on Japanese TV, and after that, the amount of people who are willing to take the vaccine dropped dramatically, and at a certain point, even because of this kind of public distrust of the vaccine, even the Japanese health ministry had said, "Well, we don't think it's a necessary vaccine." They didn't really want to push it. They didn't want to keep saying, "Hey, you guys better get the vaccine." They wanted to kind of step back a bit and say, "Well, we won't push it because we don't want to make that kind of mandatory." So that, this garbage can thing spooked them. They said, "Shit, somebody done something bad in the garbage can. Don't want to use it anymore." A little while, Japan, they still use fax machines. Why do they still use fax machines? Pesonius, come on, tell me, why do Japanese people still use fax machines regularly? What's the reason? I know the reason. What do you think? What's your guess? Fax machines. And I mean, seriously, they use fax machines. Any ideas? No? No ideas? Alright. Fax machines. Machines in Japan. Because they are supposedly more secure than email. I am not a IT guy. I'm not a tech guy, so don't ask me. I don't know if it's the truth or not. But that, if in terms of whether it's more secure or not, there had been a point in time, and this is what I had heard from some of my students. There had been a point in time where city halls, city councils, they were switching over to email, and either through some gross misunderstanding or some mistake or something like that, somebody didn't do a CC in their email. They sent an email out with everybody's name and the to address, everybody's email address. It was either that or something along those lines, where people's personal information or people's personal contact info ended up in the email where it shouldn't have. And so that personal information was shared amongst people who shouldn't have gotten it. But the way it was explained to me, it was like somebody sent an email, and it was not done through a CC. It was done as a to. They were sent all the people in the to, and then you can see who it's been sent to. If all of the names are in the to part of the address bar, you can see everybody that it's sent to. And then, of course, those people's email addresses have been all shared amongst each other. And because there can be mistakes like this, and people's information might end up being hacked or stolen or whatever through email, people prefer to use fax because they think it's more secure. And so you go to most places in Japan, they will still have a fax machine. Maybe not in their houses, but you can fax from convenience stores most of the time. A lot of companies have fax machines. People send faxes in Japan, one of the most technologically advanced countries. People don't use debit cards, they like to use cash. Very recently, in the last couple of years, people are using payment apps on their phones, where you charge up a payment app, and you get a barcode, and you can pay in some places with that. But it's still only in the last 1 or 2 years people don't use debit cards to pay, they want to use cash. Because they are worried that somebody might get their debit card and steal their money. I mean, usually if you have a debit card, you have to put in a PIN number to use it, but that's beside the point. They still feel like it's not safe and they don't want to use it. So a lot of things in Japan, there are a lot of things, they have these robot toilets, right? Where you can sit on it and you can make it play sounds so that people can't hear you take a shit, right? It will play like sounds of a rainforest, or like waves at the beach or something, and it will play that sound really loudly so that when you're taking a shit or you're taking a piss, that nobody hears the sound, because that's something that people feel embarrassed about. Oh, somebody can hear me taking a piss. Okay. They have robot toilets that will play sounds when you sit down. They'll warm the seats, and then they'll spray your ass with a high-powered jet to clean it off. And then there will be a blow dryer built in there as well, which will blow all the water off, and you'll be as clean as the day you were born. Well, probably cleaner, because that's probably not very clean. Well, it's not very clean. I've seen it. But they have these kind of incredible technology toilets, and then on the other hand, they have people using fax machines. There's this really strange sort of technological divide in Japan. If you have a look at a lot of people, not everybody, but there's a lot of people in Japan. If you look at their social media accounts, they'll not put a picture of their face, or they'll put a picture of only half of their face, or they'll do a picture of them facing away from the camera, because they're worried about identity and well, I don't know about identity theft, but they feel like they don't want people to be able to identify them by their picture through social media. When the pandemic started, I had some students who said, I'm worried that Zoom communications go through China and that Chinese people will steal my facial identity. So they wouldn't use Zoom for taking classes during the pandemic. And so they just took a leave of absence from the school because they were worried about their face being stolen. Not actually being stolen, but the image of their face. So there's some really backwards sort of identity issues, sort of stuff with technology. But then you can get the cleanest ass you'll ever have using Japanese toilets. It's a beautiful disconnect. Oh, and one thing that you guys, I recommend for anybody who ever has interest in Japan, candy. So soft candy, hard candy, stuff like that. little ones. You won't believe it until you try it. I promise you. The candy and stuff that you get in most Western countries, right? That candy you get, flavors you get, you get a strawberry flavor, and we all know what it tastes like. It's the light sort of pink, light yellow, well not yellow, light pink, sort of light reddish pink color candy, and that's supposed to be strawberry flavor. You have your green, you have your lime or something like that. Your orange flavor, lemon flavor, a few of those different things. But generally, most candy in Western countries has that similar, distinct taste. This is what lemon flavor tastes like. Come to Japan, eat some Japanese candy. So many kinds of candy in Japan that tastes like the thing it says it tastes like. I mean, also, potato chips. Over here, you get like fucking steak and onion dinner flavored chips, and potato chips. You eat the potato chips, taste like fucking steak and onion dinner. It doesn't taste like, oh yeah, I guess I can imagine that this is what the person thinks steak and onion dinner tastes like. You eat that stuff, you're eating steak and onion dinner flavor. Like, it tastes like it. Pizza flavor. It tastes like you're eating pizza, but it's chips. It's potato chips. That kind of stuff. Like, flavors in Japan, man, they're on point with flavors. You find something that's something flavor, it's that flavor. It's not, I dream of strawberry flavor. It's strawberry flavor. It tastes like strawberries. Like, they are good at making flavors in Japan. And not only are they good at it, they've got it now down to an art where you can distinguish between something that is supposed to be strawberry milk, that's right? So strawberry milk flavored candy and strawberry flavored candy. Okay, so it's not one of the things where you go, well, they've made two candies, one called strawberry milk, one strawberry, and if you ate them at different times, you wouldn't be able to, you'd think it was different. But if you ate them next to each other, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. No, it's not like that. Come here, you have strawberry milk flavor, tastes like strawberry milk. You find strawberry flavor, tastes like strawberry. They taste different. Like, they are good at flavors, man. You get flavors in Japan, they're damn good. I promise you. You ever come to Japan, you ever try any kind of flavors, you're going to be, candy flavors, anything like that, you're going to be really impressed by how good they've managed to do that. What's the time? 5 minutes to midnight. Hey. I mean, I'll only live stream for a couple more minutes before we get to midnight. And then I will go off for the day. But it's been good, everybody. It's been good to see some of you online, and I've been happy to hear from you. We've done a good amount of XP in this short amount of time. Done a lot of talking. Been very depressive. Sorry about that. But every now and again I need to vent. And I need to vent in English, in my native language, because venting in Japanese gets tiring. And nobody bloody listens anyway, so nice to talk. Alright, let's hope in the next few kills I get something from the rare drop table before we finish. That would be nice. Let's go rare drop table. Come on. Give me something from the rare drop table. Come on. Every time I had something from the rare drop table, it's been on camera. So I'm hoping that it's a kind of camera juju that's given me these drops. Alright, well then, I think we're reaching the end of today's live stream, everybody. So thank you very much, and for those of you who do watch this at a later date, sorry about the first 10-minute part. I do hope that you managed to get past that and onto this one pretty easily, and I will hear from you all again in the near future. Please do feel free to drop by the Discord. It's in the description box of the main series. I don't know if it's in the description box of this video, so yeah, do check the main series for the Discord link. Feel free to join. If you want to chat, we can chat. We can talk on the voice chat. That's okay too. I update that with screenshots all the time from my gameplay, so please feel free to join that. It's free, so you can always leave at any time. And of course, the friends chat in game. Right now, we have nobody online, but it is an awkward time, and I did not announce this live stream at an earlier date. So this was just a completely random live stream. So I do hope that you all of you who do watch are able to enjoy. And again, I will end this by saying I'm sorry for the depressive tone from the beginning, but I do hope that all of you have a very nice day, evening, month, year, or whatever it may be that you need to have coming up, because I appreciate you all, and I believe that all of you deserve whatever it is that you are looking for in your life, and I always appreciate your support, and I feel like there's not really much I can do to support all of you other than give you a couple of words of encouragement. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. I will see you all in the near future. Goodbye, everybody.